Hello FLOSSTUBE universe. It's been a while since I've posted a video, and I've got to admit I've missed it all. I've missed doing it. So good for you to tune in. I'm so happy to post some new content for you. As it's been a while, I think the last time I've actually put up a video was about 2 months ago. So it's well overdue, and a lot has happened since. Cross-stitch goodness, some, the US trip, for example, that was pretty crazy, and that's something I'm going to be talking about today, and kind of going over just the highlights, we'll say. And I don't want to bore everyone about my trip, but you're here for the cross-stitch goodness, not just the trip, but I will give you a life update. But yeah, I just want to say thank you for tuning in again. As like I said, it has been a while, and I don't know if I've dropped off everyone's feeds, but if I have, or if I haven't, and you're here, thank you again for clicking in and joining me for some, life updates and cross-stitch goodness. So very excited to go through all that today. So I guess I'll do it Johnny style, which is start with that life update. Right. Okay, so firstly, just mentioning I've got a new camera, new audio set up. Hopefully it's going to sound good and it's all okay. I'm actually in the downstairs part of my townhouse. It's sort of like the camera gives me some freedom to move around the place. So because it's got the mic attached to it, whereas before I was sort of attached to my computer. So all good. Anyway, sorry, just thought I'd let you know because it's a bit of a scenery change. So, life update. Yes, well, last time I spoke to you all, I was just about maybe a week out from actually leaving to go to the US. So I went to the USA for about 4 weeks. It was amazing. I'm still, I've said this to a few people, it's been 3 weeks since I've been back, and I'm still processing the trip. So, I did the whole Southwest route, which is the, Texas to New Mexico, Arizona, and California. And it's funny, a lot of you subscribers as well have actually said to me, if you're going to go there during this, this time summer, it would be really, really hot. And I must admit, I did take it for granted. I went there thinking, it's all right. I've done 45-degree weather in Australia. I'm wrong. I am wrong, and I am sorry. The Southwest heat was intense. Texas was hot. It was fine, but it was as I got towards Arizona, to the south of Arizona, and just over that border of California, it was intense. Some intense heat. I think it was around the time where they started saying Death Valley got up to like 55 degrees or something, the hottest it's ever been. I was in Palm Springs Desert at that time, so I was experiencing about 47 degrees for about 3 days. And for God's sake, the Arizona, Phoenix, felt like I was in a fan-forced oven where I was just walking and the heat was just hitting me and drying my eyes out so much because it must have been blowing from the desert, and it was hot. And I now know what you all mean in the comments when you say, hey Johnny, it's really hot, watch out. And here I'm like, yeah, it's okay, I'm good, I'm gonna do it. Yeah, it was a time. And it added to the whole, sorry, let me take a sip. It added to the whole, like, the vibe of the whole trip for me. That heat felt like I was stuck in thickness, like honey. Everywhere I went, like my brain felt like it was just swollen. And I'm not saying I wasn't in air-conditioned places, because I was, but obviously because I was on a trip, I was also out a lot. And so because I couldn't stay in. What am I going to do? I'm not going to a place to just stay in and not experience it. So I did do a lot of traveling outside, maybe not at midday, but, you know, not when the heat was the highest, but it was, it was intense, and sort of painted this whole picture of what Southwest was for me. And so that's why it's taking so long for me to process, because, yeah, just we spent almost a full week and a half, maybe even 2 weeks in Texas. Out of the whole 4 weeks, that's how long we spent in that state. And it was you know, it was fantastic. Texas was eye-opening. It was not the US that I thought. Yeah, everyone says Texas feels like a completely different country when you go there, and they're right, it does. It just feels different. Big. The roads are huge. I have opinions, but it's noticeably different when you hit New Mexico, is all I'm saying. Can I just say, here's something though, like I'm going to be scatterbrained at this point, so hopefully you're following along. The Texan, like, drivers in New Mexico, everyone's kind of like saying, if this is one thing I can say, they all say, God damn, they're crazy, they drive so fast, they speed. Yes, they do speed. But do you know what they're not? That I was actually really surprised by? Aggressive. It may seem aggressive to speed, but it was almost consistent, and there was a pattern-like thing to it. Whereas in Sydney, it's just aggressive. It is just, if you go on the road here, just be prepared. It's just screaming and blah, blah, blah. We may not have big roads, and we probably don't speed, and we're over-regulated in terms of how many cameras and traffic lights and what say you. But in Texas, everyone was very kind and very nice on the roads, regardless of how the speed went, which was surprising to me because I thought it was going to be the opposite. So, yeah, anyway, going back to it, Texas was, I'm processing it as time passes, and I'm starting to realize there was a mood that Texas had, and it carried. And with that heat, and with its sort of openness, so flat, so, like, such large outlook, and just into, I mean, apart from, like, in Austin, when you go to the Texas high country and all that, it's not as flat, but it's still flat. It's not New Mexico, for example. It was an experience that I probably won't forget. So I did, like, you know, I experienced Abilene. For some reason, everyone in Abilene didn't want to be in Abilene. It was pretty funny. Every single person I met there was like, oh, yeah, I'm getting out of town this weekend. I'm like, okay, like, every single person said that. Okay, maybe not every single one, but everyone had an escape plan. I thought Abilene was fine. I had no problem with it. So there was Abilene. Yeah, anyway, New Mexico was great. If I had to say my favorite place of all the kind of areas that I went to, so from Texas, there was Austin, San Antonio, Dallas, Abilene, Fredericksburg. In New Mexico, it was the Mescalero County. I hope you're not saying that correctly. But anyways, it was the Inn of the Mountain, which was up in the Alpine Forest, which was really beautiful. And then Santa Fe, which was, loved Santa Fe, would go back there in a heartbeat. And then Arizona, we went to, like, Flagstaff to see Grand Canyon. I got to see Sedona. I think some people mentioned Sedona on here on FLOSSTUBE, and I did not know what I was in for. I went at sunset. It was stunning. It was just beautiful. Oh, gosh. I feel like I need to show you photos, but I'm not really sure how to intercut them here. So maybe if you wanted to log on to my Instagram, I've got some photos there of some places that I went to. If you just scroll through there, through my reel, I might put up an update because I don't have the later half of it. But it was just some stunning scenes that I saw there. Down to Phoenix, and then Palm Springs for California, LA, Santa Barbara, and then San Francisco. So it was a big road trip. I drove all that way, only one flat tire, and that was a fun day. I had to pay for the Aire to fill my tire, and then when I I didn't realize that you pay for Aire there. So we don't pay for Aire in Australia here. So that was one thing. So apart from paying for the Aire, that the valve on my tire, I actually put the Aire onto it and the pump, and then it started pumping and everything was fine. But then when I went to take it off, firstly the pump didn't stop, kept blowing air, and then when I went to take it off, it was brittle and it broke. And then the whole tire just deflated in front of me. This was in Boleyn, where I would like to say it was just not in an area that was easy for me to find another replacement car at the rental company. So, and it was a Sunday. So yeah, that was a day. But we went to Discount Tire that was there, and it was filled with like 50 people inside there on a Sunday getting their tires replaced. The men that were running the place there, they looked like they were rich. This must be just a normal thing that happens in Texas, because there were so many blowout tires on the road there. I swear I can equate it to how much like kangaroo roadkill, which we have a lot in Australia. That's what it looked like to me when I was on those highways. Just tires everywhere. So there must be big business in tires in Texas. Interesting. The lovely, lovely guy there. Probably, I don't know, there were so many people there getting their tires fixed, but he saw how like ruined we were. And he actually helped us out, and we got it done in half an hour. It was lovely because we had a 6-hour drive to Roswell. Oh, I forgot about Roswell. We had a 6-hour drive to Roswell from there, or 5-hour drive. Anyways, it was a long drive, and you know those roads, they're so flat, and it was the heat, and it was going to be a terrible time if we had to stuff around with our holiday plans. But anyway, he was lovely. Regardless of however it went well for us. So I was really happy about that. But yeah, like I'm trying to think that my favorite place was definitely Palm Springs and Arizona. Everywhere was good. I enjoyed everywhere. I don't think I really disliked a place. As far as like a place that maybe I just didn't really have much to do, maybe Dallas was probably one of those places where I just felt there wasn't really much to do, but then there was still stuff to do, if you know what I mean. But like Austin was a great city. I have a story. I don't know if I should share. I'll share it. Anyways, I went to a karaoke bar in Austin, and that was the second night that I was there, and I was extremely jet lagged, but I really, really wanted gin and tonic, so I drank gin and tonic. I didn't sing, but I did watch people sing. And did I judge? Yes, because that's what you do at karaoke bars. You kind of judge and you laugh and blah, blah, blah. You know, it's that whole, what's that New York place where people boo? Anyway, I wasn't booing. But the gin and tonics, wow, in Austin, they overpour. So let me tell you, I got ridiculously drunk. So drunk that the next day in Austin, where I was supposed to get up and do lots of things, couldn't do it because I was hungover in bed trying to keep everything in because it was just a bad day. So I ended up spending, with the jet lag and the hangover, the whole day till 4 p.m. I haven't done that since I was like 20 years old when I was over in Mykonos partying back in those days. I haven't done that in such a long time. And here I am in Austin, Texas, second day of what was supposed to be a very low-key holiday, just road tripping, just trying to, I felt like I was going to die. I was so hungover. But you know what? Great karaoke bars in Austin. Loved it. Yeah, San Antonio was lovely as well. Yeah, sorry guys, life update's been pretty just filled with this trip, but it was 4 weeks of my life this year where I just went around and just enjoyed the beautiful scenery that I had. I will remember it more and more, and there will be more stories that I would bring back over and over. But yeah, Austin was a great place. California this time was great. Just staying in LA and the West Hollywood and WeHo was lovely. And that's my dog in the background. He's a bit upset because we had a barbecue last night, and he felt a little bit like high anxiety because people were over. It's all right. He'll be okay. He'll get a big walk today, and that will fix it. Anyway, so yeah, I came back from the US with high hopes that I was going to basically do a floss tube as soon as I got back, and I couldn't do it because unfortunately my uncle passed away, and it was a real kind of big deal in my family as it was one of the first deaths close to us. It was sad, and we had to get through it pretty. It was just a pretty, like, it wasn't a bad way that he went. He went, and he was not too old, but still, he went because of cancer, and it was just, it was just sad. I don't know how else to put it. So there was a grieving period with that, and I didn't feel right to put up anything. But look, time has passed now, and here I am. My cross stitching probably went down a little bit during that time. But yeah, anyway, moving on. I did want to put out a FLOSSTUBE video, but here I am now. I'm putting out a FLOSSTUBE video now. So there's a lot of things that we're going to talk about in terms of cross stitch. Now, did I visit some cross stitch stores when I was in the US? Yes. Were they amazing? Yes. Like mind-blowing amazing? Wow. Okay, I only went to two. I went to two because I couldn't spend any more money after two. I spent too much money. It was a lot. I got a haul, guys. I got a haul. Anyways, I went to the Tinsmiths Wife, which was in Texas. That store was amazing. I think I don't know if I'm getting her name right. I hope it is. I think her name was Sandra. I have it in the. I'll check. It's in my bag, but. Basically, she helped me out towards the end, just looking at all the stuff. There were just so many samplers and so much. I was overwhelmed. I went in there thinking I was going to buy something. Then I saw everything. I'm like, I don't even know how to search for all this to buy something. Like, it was just an overwhelming amount of stuff. But I managed. My partner was so good. He just found a couch and he just sat down and he's like, just take your time. And he started reading and going on TikTok. And I'm just there going, how long is take your time mean? 2 hours later. I think that's a sufficient amount of time. But I found a lot of stuff there. So Tinsmiths Wife, I got a good haul. And then the next place that I went to, so this place was also extra special. Samplers galore. The Attic Needlework shop in Phoenix. I happened to be there on a Saturday and they were open, and the ladies in there were just gorgeous people. I just felt so well received by them and so welcomed, and they were so happy and so lovely, and it was just a nice time. Again, 2 hours there. I think my partner found a big table to the right of the store, just sat down there, and then I put him to work around 1 hour in. I'm like, that's it, get up, you're going to find me stuff. There's too much to look through. There was mountains of samplers everywhere, and there were, I didn't know, I was lost. They had everything categorized nicely at the Attic though, just in terms of what type of samplers you're looking for, and then there's a Christmas themed, Halloween themed. And it was just a gorgeous place. Oh my God, guys, though, it was the hottest day that day. It was 47 degrees outside. I was dying. We had an esky with us in the car everywhere we went, and we were just worried because we had to leave it in the car for 2 hours if it was going to hold up. It did. Thank you, Heb from Texas, for providing us with a very strong esky. Anyways, or cooler. Well, I don't know what they're called. We call them esky. So yeah, got to visit the cross stitch stores there, and it was exciting. So I think the biggest thing that we can do today on this FLOSSTUBE is talk about the massive haul that I've brought over with me. Look, I think it's a huge amount because it costs so much. I've got patterns, fabric. I got with Attic Needlework, they had a pattern that I saw that was just beautiful. But then when I went and picked up the pattern, it was all different colors, and I found out right then and there that they specialize in changing colors and doing different types of floss, or, you know, like the specialty flosses, and just making them look amazing. And I was just there, just I'm in an Aire, and I'm like, well, I'm here once, and, you know, I've got my eyes on what it's going to look like. So I just spent the money and I got all the different sort of flosses, which I've not done yet. Like, you know, all the silks and stuff. I've kind of just been dealing with DMC floss for so long now. And so I was sort of happy to kind of just venture into that and get a project that was going to be color matched to some beautiful, like, silky floss. It will probably change my world, to be honest. But yes, I've got that to show. Did I say needle minders? I've got needle minders. And yeah, so I want to do the big haul. So basically, I have not opened up these packages. This is going to be what I would call like a little bit of a FLOSSTUBE unboxing. So I've got 2 brown paper packages here. So this one is from Tinsmiths Wife, and this one is from the Attic Needlework shop in Phoenix. So I thought I would open them up on here and just see what I bought, because I've actually forgotten what I bought, to be honest, because I was in the thrall of the magic that was being bestowed upon me from these shops. So let's do it together. I've been waiting to do this since we got back. I haven't opened them, knowing that I was going to open them up for this. So let's do it together. And then afterwards, I'll show you where I've gotten up to with most of my stuff. To be honest, I've gotten more done with my greenhouse of oddities, but look, that's a later thing. Let's do the haul. So why don't we go in order? So let's start with the Tinsmiths Wife. And I don't even want to... her name was not Sandra. Her name was Wendy at the Tinsmiths Wife. I'm so sorry if I got that wrong. I don't know why I thought Sandra. Either way, Wendy was amazing. Or is, I should say, amazing. I don't even want to look at the price of this receipt. Guys, I'm telling you, it was... the US to AU as well, the conversion. Oh God, like I have to save up so much money. All right, so let's start with, okay, well, I thought, okay, so I got this really cute sort of, I don't know if it comes with the threads, it comes with the fabric. Let me show you. All right, so it's a Nashville exclusive kit by the Primitive Hare. It's called Stitches Home. Let me move light out of the way so you can see what that looks like. So it's called Stitches Home. And it's like got like these wooden frames, and basically you stitch that pattern. Let's see, there. So you stitch that pattern, and it, I don't know if that's going in focus, guys. I'm hoping it is. Yeah, I think it is. So it's this beautiful little house pattern, and it gets put onto the backing board, a backing board, and then put into this frame. And it just had this really beautiful little element. I don't know, just it spoke to me. Plus, I've never really bought a kit before that had, like, you know, just this kind of look. And I feel like it kind of goes with the aesthetic that I like. I do like that it's called a Stitches Home, because it's true. And when I stitch it, it is a Stitches Home. And my partner knows that. So let's make it happen. So that's the first one. Next pattern I got was by Barrick. And it's this really simple but very, very cute sort of tree. And I'm not really sure what kind of tree it is. But this sampler, it just had this really beautiful, I don't know, just again, it's all about the aesthetic. I always imagine when I pick a pattern, what's it going to look like on my wall, and is it going to attract me when I look at it every day? Like, am I going to look at it and think, wow, that's really pretty? And I just feel like this one does fit that mark. There you go, that's in focus now. It just has a really pretty quality to it, and maybe it's the back stitching around it sort of brings it out and brings it forward. Like I said, very simple, but really, really effectively pretty. I'm not going to show that one. And this is, again, by the Primitive Hare. So it's called the Queen. It's from the Queen of the Needle series. And this one is called the Moon Queen. How cute. Just this sort of gorgeous sort of stitching on this beautiful, beautiful, I mean, just the fabric and all that kind of stuff that they're using. It just feels so pretty. I don't know. It just grabbed my attention again. I just saw it and I was like, it's lovely. Although I have no idea where I'm going to get the, all the, what do you call, the little charms. All the charms. I'm really looking forward to going on onto these though. So that was the second one. Here's the Tinsmiths Wife's card. I made sure to get this. Come on, focus. Focus. Why aren't you focusing? Why aren't you focusing? Oh, it doesn't. Oh, there you go. I have to put it in front of my face. Anyways, Tinsmiths Wife, go there. Sorry for wasting your time on trying to get that to focus. All right, and this is so out of my league in terms of taste. Well, I mean, no, taste is fine. My taste is varied, but this one is just, I saw it in the corner of the shop and I went through all the stuff there and I found this one particularly and I'm like, okay, this is the strangest embroidery. I'm not going to call it cross stitch. Well, it's actually long stitch, I think. Anyway, I saw it and I couldn't help myself. I got it. It's a sampler collection. It's by Laura J. Perin Designs and it's called Mountain Trails. So this is a very different pattern that I've never ever thought I would ever stitch. So guys, what this does is it's a long piece to go on your wall. It's beautifully colorful. It's very video gamey. It makes me feel like Stardew Valley. I don't know if anyone plays that, but it gives me that Stardew Valley vibe. But what I like about it, I'll just hold it up and talk about it. What I like about it is it's got this, I don't know, it's just the way the stitches work just seems interesting. It's another challenging piece that I think would be interesting for me, that I would enjoy. I don't know what else to say except to say that it is, it's just a beautiful piece that I'm interested in trying out. I don't think I ever would have chosen this if I didn't go to this, the store and see it. So I'm very excited to give that one a go. As far as patterns, those are the patterns. I feel like in this store I really went hard with the fabrics and some weird stuff that I've gotten. Okay, let's start with needle minders, guys. Firstly, I got this the really, really cute needle minder of a... Oh, man. Let's do this. Okay. That one's a needle minder of a Panda. I'm going to just see if I turn this off. Is this going to work better? Yeah. There you go. So it's a Panda needle minder, and it's a very, very cute looking, very Asian inspired, I would say, in just the way the roof and the red and green and all that, just those colors. I don't know what project I'd put it on, but I don't know, I saw it, I really enjoyed it. So there's that. This one I love. It's so daggy, I'm gonna say, but it's my type of dag. I don't know. It looks like it was there for a very long time and no one ever bought it. You will see it in the price tag. It looks tattered. This is the Owl needle minder. It's so daggy, but honestly, whatever. I just feel like this project could go. This could go on so many different projects. I love it. I saw it. I was like instant. Yeah, I didn't even give it a go. I just went like that. Okay. I'm going to go into this. All right, so now we're going into the fabric that I picked up from this place. So fabric-wise, I got the... Okay, so this is by Picture This Plus, and it's a 36 count Mystic. So that's the fabric there. And I swear, I'm sorry that I'm going to do this, but I've not said the word modeling, but I've heard a lot of floss tubers say modeling, so I'm going to start saying the modeling, which I've never used, but I'm going to start using it. Anyway, the modeling on this is very flower oriented. I think if I had a project that had a lot of, like, you know, the yellows or pastels and all that kind of stuff, it would look really, really pretty on this as popping. But if I wanted to, I could also go for something very subtle, like a subtle sort of light, like the grays and dark grays, even into black. If I wanted to go for a very subtle looking piece, but either way, it works. It works very. I saw this blue, and I'm like, I haven't seen a blue like this with this modeling, and I got a fat quarter of that one because I thought interesting. So there's that. Then I got another piece of fabric. You can't ever have enough clouds or stormy looking clouds on fabric. So I got a fat quarter of the, what did I get here? What's it called? It's called Storm Clouds by the Mountain Aire hand dyed fabrics. So that is that. The modeling is pretty, you know, straightforward with any cloudy piece. Very, very nice. I would say it's kind of like a light grey, open, bordering towards like a bluish sort of hue. I think this one's very like I could use this with lots of different projects. I feel like it's got a very varied approach. With what I could do on it. All right, now for the most interesting fabrics that I've bought on this whole trip, I think. So according to Wendy, when I was speaking to her, this is an Italian, well, the Primitive Hare, again, so this is their stuff. The Primitive Hare, I believe, is an Italian designer or an Italian company, and they do very strange stuff. So I have not opened this. I'm going to open it now. But this is called, what is it? Actually don't even know how big this is. I just had to get it. It's a 30 count Boleyn linen. Boleyn, B-O-L-E-Y-N, linen. It cost me a mint for what it is. The Primitive Hare. This is the label. And I'm going to open it. So this is what it looks like. And it is stunning. It's art in itself, guys, honestly. I feel like I could just hang it like this. So this is the fabric. Sorry, I just haven't smelt it before. It's got a nice, like stale but not offensive smell. So that is what it looks like, and it's got this little sort of writing on it. And I just saw it. I was like, I mean, I don't even know what I'm going to put on that, but I have to buy it. I'm not going to pass this one again. Like, this must be bought. It's a stunning piece of fabric. I honestly, give me ideas. I guess samplers would go in this, but it can't be too heavy. It would have to be lots of little sort of motifs around the whole thing. I don't think I can go for something too heavy on this. Either way, it's a stunning piece. I'm so happy that I bought it and I found it. I just loved it. And I'm glad to share it with you. So that is the Boleyn linen by the Boleyn linen by the Primitive Hare, 30 count. I'm just going to put the label on it. I don't know what I'm going to do with it yet, but when I do, I will let you all know. This next one is again by the Primitive Hare. It's called Winter Frost, and 30 count, linen again. It says on it, I'm a printed linen, please wash me kindly in cold water. I might fade a little bit. Thank you for the advice. All right, getting this unboxed. So this is a light blue, cold toned. It's even got a little bit of a greenish hue to it. The modeling of this. The modeling. That's what that writing is. It's modeling, right? Anyways, the modeling on this, stunning. So this is, oh gosh, I don't know if you can see it as much. Oh, this is where I needed backing boards. Let's use this. But yeah, it kind of looks, let me get some light. It kind of looks like that. I don't know if that light's working. Sorry, guys. I don't know that. Yeah, so it's got the modeling on it is sort of just random sort of splodges and then like leaf marks or like, you know, just the outline of leaves and all that kind of stuff. But very, very lovely. This one, I feel like I've got a more generic use that I can put on it. Like I could get like a Bella Filipina character and put it on this and sort of position it in a way that makes sense so I can make sure I get some of that modeling in there. Either way, it's a very, again, another stunning piece from her. Again, easier to use across projects, that one, I reckon. So that cost me, just those two fabrics, it was expensive. They were not cheap. And I don't know if, I'm not saying that about Tinsmiths Wife, like bringing up the price. I just think they're not cheap products. All right, so that's the haul from that's the Tinsmiths Wife. Tinsmiths Wife. Say that a couple of times. So yeah, like that's a good haul. I definitely, Primitive Hare seems to be the one that I got a lot of. The Wildflowers was actually a pick from my partner, which I agreed with. He had a whole lot of other stuff, and I looked at it and I was like, yeah, it's good, but I'll never do it, so I just threw it away. And then this one's so interesting. I have no idea about, like, that one. I just got the pattern because how could I not get the pattern? But am I ever going to do it? I hope I can. I hope I do. I swear in the end sometimes, guys, I actually think we're just like playing Pokemon when we get cross-stitch patterns. Got to collect them all. That's what it feels like. All right, so that is the haul from Tinsmiths Wife. And I'm just going to put those away, package nicely, and move on to the next package. So this is the Attic Needlework. Let me grab everything from here. Ooh. I mean, if I find a receipt, I kind of hope I don't. Oh god. No receipt. We're good. We're good. It's not gonna kill me. Okay. Interesting picks from this place. They had a whole lot of different sort of design choices. Not saying that they didn't sort of like both Tinsmiths Wife and the Attic had like a crossover of designers that they both stocked. Though you know, maybe the way it was categorized that the Attic was just a bit different, and so I found more Halloween stuff at the Attic just because of where it was situated. Either way, I know that I've seen online in FLOSSTUBE a lot of people who have done the Carriage House samplings. It's the sampling grid, and there is a Halloween version of it. I don't think I got the Halloween version of this, but I got the one called The Village of Hawk Run Hollow, which is a series, the Hawk Run Hollow series. This one is just a bit different from the ones that I think people have seen online. Like I think the one that I've seen has like skeletons in the last one. Either way, beautiful sampler. It looks like it'd be a lot of fun to work on. Oh, where am I going? It looks like it'd be a lot of fun to work on, doing like a box in a month or something like that, just to get it done. But Yeah, both my partner and I just saw this one and just went, yeah, this one's a good one. And if I like it so much, I can get more of the Hawk Run Hollow series and just continue it. Anyway, this was a good find. I really am going to enjoy doing this one. So, pattern number 1. This is, like, again, this is going out of what I thought my taste was. And now here I am, you know, surprising myself of what I find like attractive to me and what I would want to stitch. So this one's called the Quaker Gone Spooky. Again, it is a Halloween one, but it's strange. Like, it's a little bit religious. Anyways, here it is. It's by Michelle Inc. Needlework Designs. Anything else? Stitchingpretty.com. So distributed by Stitching Pretty. So this is called Quaker Gone Spooky. I saw it and my initial thought was this tree. The weeping, is it a weeping willow? I'm just seeing if it says it. Yeah, it's a spooky willow. That's what they call it. So this tree gave me lovely vibes. But they have, like, you know, like those headless, or not headless, but like the head of an angel with the wings. Like, I think it's called seraphim. I don't know. I'm not like, I have looked into it because I thought it was interesting back in the past. But yeah, it's got that crosses. It looks like to be a cemetery. It's a strange pattern, but it did grab my eye, and I wanted it. It's the tree. And if I was going to change anything, I'd probably change the cat to a dog, to my dog. Yeah, that's one other pattern. All right, this pattern that I'm going to show you. So this is the second last pattern that I got. This is one of the, again, another strange pattern that I never really thought I would do. So this is a sampler by the Assemblaire. It's called Anne Maria Clark. I'm just going to leave this in front and be a little bit silent just so you can see why I would have gone for something like this. So, this is one of the strangest samplers that I've ever bought. That turquoise teal color is so different. I saw it and it's just the mix of colors of the blues, the turquoise. What else does it have here in there? Kind of like the greens. It all just sort of blends in together to create this beautiful sort of like, I don't know, just tonal shifts between blue and green, or like the algae green. You know what I mean? It's pretty stunning. I can't lie. This is going to be a beautiful one to work on. I'm just going to go a little bit closer because I really like this pattern. Hopefully that is it, doing it, but you can kind of see the motifs and what we'll be working on. I'm not really sure about what the writing says. I'm not really like that into samplers with a lot of writing. If I like the writing, I'll keep it, but anything else. Again, samplers, it's a strange one for me because that's not really like my taste, but I got so blown away with the amount of them that I couldn't not pick something that like spoke to me, and this one spoke to me. All right, so the next one that I got was the one that the Attic ladies helped me out with. So this one, they actually had modeled and already in a frame. And I saw it, I was like, gosh, this is a beautiful pattern. I really wouldn't want to do it. The only thing is that when I picked up the pattern, or when I asked for the pattern, it was not the colors that I wanted to do. So this one's called Halloween Tiny Town, and it's the heart in hand needle art pattern. So this is how it was framed in the store, but those colors were not correct. So what the ladies at the needlework place did for me is got the colors that they used in their model and collected all the different silks for me. So this is where I'm going to be trying out silks for the first time. So it's a mix of silks, all very, very pretty silks. Mainly dinky dyes, which I found out were Australian when I was there. Like, come on. Come on. You'd think I know these things by now, being a floss tuber. So it's all mainly dinky dyes. Just having a look. Gumnut Yarns, another Australian company. Dinky dyes again. I think I remember the lady asked me what something meant in terms of what a color. What was it again? She kept asking me how do you pronounce Jindalee? I think it's that one. Jindalee. Anyway, these colors are very pretty, silky, sort of like beige reds and all that kind of stuff. I mean, is it similar to the pattern? It's probably just not as bold, these colors, once they're put together. And it's probably brought down a little bit by these colors because they're not in the pattern at all. So kind of like bringing down the boldness of the reds, or these hues of red, by the forest greens and the sort of grey green and grass green and the browns. So these are the dinky dyes that I got. These are all dinky dyes. This one is Classic Colourworks Bella Soie Limestone. So you can see it's like a grey green, that one. So yeah, and then the Gumnut Yarns. These are really pretty looking too. These are the Gumnut Yarns. I don't know if that's going to show. Oh, sorry. So I am excited, to say the least, to give those a go. And that is Halloween Tiny Town. That one is going to look really, really nice once it's stitched up, because I can put that on one of my walls here downstairs it feels like something that I can actually put up on the wall and it will fit in nicely because of its rectangular shape. So yes, very excited about that one, and that is one for Halloween. And then in terms of fabric, I found the fabrics probably a little. They had a lot of fabrics, and I'm not saying they're not great. They had plenty of good ones. I did find that the fabric over at Tinsmiths Wife had a little bit more of an edge, if that makes sense. But the patterns, the sampler collection, and the way it was categorized in the attic, it's funny. Each store has its own vibe, right? That's the vibe that I picked up when I was there. What I felt. I'm not saying my opinion. Just, yeah. And it's not like I can go back and check in and see, if I missed anything. So next one that I've got, so we're going to fabric now, guys. So can you see how much of a haul this is? Jesus Christ, there's so much. This one is by Tabby Cat, or it is Tabby Cat. No, it's by Tabby Cat, and it's called Ragamuffin. This is a cute and fun fabric. So it's got like pink splatters. In the modeling, it's got pink splatters and a very kind of like dark forest green on, let's say not a bit off-white, like an eggshell sort of thinger, but the hue of the pink throws your eye off a little bit. I like this. There's some brown splatter down here too. I like this because it's going to be quite an interesting sort of background to a piece. I'm not sure what I would use with it again, but I did see it and I'm like, oh, I'm not going to pass this fabric in Australia. I'm buying it. So that was just the way I did things when I was there. I'm like, I looked at it, I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to pass this again. Buy it immediately. So fabric number one. Next fabric I got, I'm trying to think why. I mean, I feel like this is a pretty standard fabric. I'm not really sure why I went for this. I must have gotten it for one of the projects that I saw there. But yeah, I just got a standard, like a mocha coloured, I think that's what it's called actually. Very country mocha linen by Newcastle. So look, nothing to write home about. It is a nice fabric to work on, and it is a 40 count. It's possible that this is the fabric for that Halloween house, because there was a whole conversation with the ladies there about me doing 40 count and how I was scared to do that with these eyes. And last but not least, this one is a cool... Okay, this is the last thing. This one is called Pumpkin Pie. The color is called Pumpkin Pie by Needle Bling. It's a 36 count fabric. I loved this color because I thought the color is just an interesting type of yellow. And the light's just gone a little bit. So it's not... you know what it looks like? It kind of looks like when you mash a pumpkin and then that color that like a young pumpkin would give. Yeah. Like not a butternut, or maybe a butternut pumpkin. Anyway, it's a pumpkin colored fabric, and I think that this one's going to be very useful to do lots of different things on. It's funny because I got like opposite sides of the color wheel, didn't I? There was the blue one that I showed earlier that I said yellow would go well on it, but now there's a yellow one where I think blue and black would go well on it. Guys, that's my haul. It's huge. It was a lot. I mean, I'm even scared to even mention how much it all costs. But we're talking up to the thousand. You'd think with all of this, like it doesn't seem like a lot, but it was a lot. Yeah. So really happy that I actually held off to be able to show you all the big haul, the massive haul. I am excited for every single item in there and how I'm going to use it for any future patterns that I've got coming, like with this. But in saying that, I've got patterns to show you. Not patterns. I've got projects, WIPs that I'm currently working on. I've got no finishes. I feel like I've done nothing with my cross stitch, but then I looked at it and I'm like, no, I've done a lot. Like I'm trying to catch up with the Greenhouse of Oddities, for example, and you'll see I've got a lot of progress. So I'll show you now. Now, I mean, everyone knows the Greenhouse of Oddities pattern. The sale's just finished. The 10th planting came out like about 2 weeks ago. This whole time, I never took this to America, so I didn't actually work on it, but I have been working on this the most since I've been back. So I'll show you where it's up to. You're going to have to excuse the creases on it, but it is coming along very lovely. So, oh gosh, wow, the creases are really... Okay, you know what, guys? I am going to need to go get a board so I can put it on, so I'll be right back. All right, let's try this again. So I just went and got a board that I had up. Excuse me blocking the camera, but hopefully... Oh my God. Hopefully that is going to work a little bit better. All right, so what we have here is the fabric falling down, the Greenhouse of Oddities, and this is where I've gotten up to. So I'm basically up to, I think, the 8th planting of it. You can see, I'm going to try and hold it with my chin here. You can see I've done the lady. I'm up to this area here. So I'm sort of finishing off the skeleton that sort of sits on the bench. And I am trying to go in the order of the way the planting sort of came out. I'm actually not going to the last one and working off that. I'm just working off each planting, doing the back stitches, then just moving like everyone else did and following that path. I just obviously just couldn't keep up because everyone is a lot faster. This is a great, I must say, it is, oh, I lost it again. This has been one of the nicer sales. Well, no, sorry, that's not true. I like most of the sales that I've worked on, but this has just been a nice one to stitch on. I think I'm excited every time they've got a new planting. I'm learning a little bit something new. I actually did see the fireweed that's on this tree out in the US, especially in LA. When I was walking up to the Hollywood sign, I saw a lot of that. And then, yeah, just the backstitching work around the owl, which I think I showed last time, which I really enjoyed. These are trumpets. I don't know what the real name for this is. I thought they were angel's trumpets, but There we go again. I need a better way of doing this. Anyways, so that is my update of where I'm at with the sow here. Once this is all ironed out and lovely, I am going to frame it and I'm going to take it into work because I think it'd be a nice, interesting one to have on the wall there. Plus, I mean, I'm working on this with my boss currently, but I may have my own office soon. Or, I mean, I have an office, but I may have a different office where I'm not sharing it. Or maybe I am sharing it. Time will tell. Exciting stuff. Well, either way, if I have somewhere to show it, I'll show it. So that is the lovely greenhouse of oddities. Now these ones I'm not going to take out of their frame. I'm just gonna say that I have no WIP to show with the Bella Filipina. I haven't moved on from where I last was. I haven't touched it. It's terrible, I know, but I got so like lost in the greenhouse of oddities. I'm trying to be a polygamous stitcher, but I can really just keep two. Two is the best that I can do. One upstairs, one downstairs. That's all I can do. So greenhouse of oddities is upstairs. That's what I've been working on. Now, the one that I did take to the US, and so everyone knows I've been working on the sow for, oh my God, the Fruits of Plenty sow. So I've been working on that, and look, I've gotten a lot of progress. I think I've gotten a lot of progress. So last time I was doing this one, I was actually up here, and now I've done this whole bit here. Now, I mean, it seems like it wouldn't be a lot, but God, like that takes a long time to get done. I guess also because I'm always sort of working the stitching so I don't go over the empty spaces, so I'm kind of going around and working with the pattern to not just cross over any blank spaces. And now I've stopped that, and I'm not doing it still, but I'm working in the 10 grid blocks instead and just moving along with that. I also changed up the app that I use with this, which is I'm using Markup RX on the iPad for this one, because it's just a bit easier for me to navigate that pattern and get things done over time with it. Plus, it actually has a nice little system where it reports how much you've stitched over time. I prefer Pattern Keeper. It's just an easier program to use. It's way more intuitive, I think. But I do wish it had a better reporting system on it. But that's me. That's what I would like. All right, so yeah, look, not much in the WIPs, guys, so you don't have to excuse me. It's all massive haul in this episode. So we are just talking about how big those finds were. So yes, that brings me to the end of the cross stitch madness that is money spent, and yeah, it sort of brings me to the end of that, and I can start talking to you a little bit of anything other than cross stitch. Look, before I go on, I just want to say again a thank you to the community like the FLOSSTUBE community, for just keeping up with my tardiness to the content creating and just kind of being around, and even some of you have also checked in with me just to see how I am. And I just want to say I'm really, really thankful, and I'm still blown away of how amazing everyone has been in this community since I started in January this year. So I'm still just in awe of how amazing this community is. So I thank you again. And for anyone new to the channel who's sort of followed me up until this point, I'm hitting subscribe, like, is that what people say? To see my next content, please go ahead. I can't wait to bring out more content and show you where I'm at with all my WIPs. Now, am I going to buy stuff for the rest of the year, guys? No, I think we're done. I think we're done with money spending on this. I've got enough. I've still got all those other cross-stitch patterns that I bought. But, and then I have an Etsy shopping cart that's filled with patterns that I'm gonna buy, that I'm just holding off on right now because I'm just like, easy tiger. You're never gonna, this is where I think, and I'm telling you now, we are all just Pokemon collectors. I am collecting every single type of Pokemon out there. It feels like that. Or, okay, wait, let me make it more extravagant. We're all art collectors. Like, we're creating a gallery and we're collecting these galleries, but we're not exactly going to work on them, are we? Not all of them. Like, let's be realistic. How many of those patterns am I actually going to get done in my lifetime? Probably not all of them, but do I want them? Yeah, I want them. I want them to be next to me. I want to know that they're in the drawer waiting for me, that I picked it and now it's with me. That's it. Anyways, anything other than cross stitch. So, one of the things that I have, I mean, you've all been on this journey with me of books and reading. Now, you all know that I wanted to get off the technology and start reading more. And so I started doing a habit where I'd pick up a book in the morning and start reading that way. And then that will get me into it, right? Well, it has. I've been reading so much. I've read, I think about in the last, 4 months since I came out and said that, 4 or 5 months, I've read at least 11 to 12 books. And it's insane. I mean, 11 to 12 books plus I listened to a couple of audiobooks. But I'm enjoying it so much, and I'm picking books that are interesting to me, that I'm actually reading and going like, yeah, cool. I mean, even if it's a 3 out of 5 that I give it, in terms of rating, I'm reading. And I'm getting faster at it as well. It just feels good to be back in the literary world and just get stories being told to me in a different way. Yeah, and it's made me feel like a better person as well. I know that sounds dumb. Oh, is it dumb? I don't know. I do think reading unlocks something in your mind and keeps your imagination alive. I've read some amazing books, and I think the last time I started speaking about books, I was reading Never Let Me Go by Kazuo Ishiguro, and I was like, man, I always pick depressing stuff. And it's like, well, good. I'm glad I picked depressing stuff, because I'm going to be honest, reading Never Let Me Go got me a little bit prepared for the grief that I had to go through with my uncle passing away. And it's these, and also I read a book about, I listened to a book about a cancer patient who was passing away, and then he wrote the book. I can't remember the name of it. I mentioned in the last one. Either way, that also prepared me. It's funny, but books are experiences, and when you read them, they fill you with that. And if you're empathetic enough, well, not that you need empathy, but if you can just allow yourself to feel it emotionally, then you sort of go through it. And then you see a lot of people who have said, like, well, think about the past, right, where they didn't have TV and all that. Think about the escapism sorry, there's a fly running around. Think about the escapism that you have once you fall into the book. Not just reading it, but when you actually fall into it and the words start gliding over you, and you just sort of, it just feeds into you nicely with no hesitation, regardless of what's going on around you. I haven't had that feeling since I was 20 years old. And to have that again, it feels amazing. I feel like I'm myself again, like I used to be, in terms of just allowing myself to open up to that sort of media, I guess. So yeah, reading has been nuts, and I've had some dud books, but I've had some amazing books that I've read. So some standout ones that I wanted to bring up was I just finished My Best Friend's Exorcism. That was like a little bit of a horror 80s pop novel. Do I recommend it? Well, if you're in a mood for something a little bit silly and fun, yeah, it's fun. It's a good book. I recommend. Then some heavier topics. I listened to the audiobook Unbroken, and it's funny, I knew nothing about World War II, and it was about Louis, fudge sticks, I can't remember his last name. He was a track runner in the Olympics in the 30s, and then he went to war, and he had a massive story about what happened to him in Japan, where he was tortured quite a bit. And it was all very sad, and you think, like, it just gets you thinking a little bit more about how humanity works when a war breaks out and people have different sort of views on the other people. Anyway, it's a pretty insane book, but I'm so happy that I listened to it. I'm so happy that I got to experience what that is, because there's one thing I actually don't know much about, and that is, you know, the World War. I didn't know what, you know, even the Australian veterans had to go through in Japan when they were in those prisoner camps. And I learned from that book, and I'm just there going, I don't know, I just never bothered to learn before, and I should have known this. I should have known the difficulties that, you know, a lot of these veterans that are around here that I've gone to memorials of, and I would just sit there going like, oh, I know this sounds really disrespectful, but I'm just being honest. I would sit through those, you know, ceremonies and go like, do I need to be here? But it was just very naive of me because I didn't really think about it. But now that maybe I'm a bit older, a bit wiser, I can just step into those shoes and or step into a book that would allow me to learn these experiences. And that is, you know, that's a special thing. So yeah, Unbroken. It was a great book. I really recommend that one. It was a long read. I finished Yellow Face, which was an interesting novel. I think it's a bit dated. It will get a bit dated very quickly, but it was an interesting novel about racism in the literary world. Or, you know, that's one theme anyway. But yeah, look, this is turned out to be quite a long episode. Look, there was a lot to talk about. I'm reading a lot, and if any of you are interested in seeing what I'm reading, you know, please add me on Goodreads. I think I'm listed there as Johnny Saxon, but I'll see if I can put it in the YouTube notes of profile, or even in the comment field. I'll put it there if anyone's interested in joining and all that. But yeah, if you're a reader, I'm interested to know what you like to read as well. So hit me up in the comments, because I think that would be really fun to see. And have a look at my Goodreads and see what I'm reading, and see if it's similar or interesting to you as well. So yes, that's anything other. And guys, other than that, it's been, you know, very hectic since I've been back from the trip, and work is going okay. And but you know, I feel like the rest of the year is a little bit of a question mark as to what's coming next. So all I know is that I'm going to continue cross-stitching. I've got a lot ahead of me. I am also going to read more and just enjoy my life a bit, do some gardening or something, right? Anyways, on that note, I'm going to end it here, guys. Thank you so much again for watching and, I don't know, bearing with my off-tangent way that I like to do these YouTube videos. Again, if you really, really enjoyed it and you're new here and you're not a subscriber, press the subscribe button, please. And if not, just hit like if you did like this video. And yes, goodbye, and until the next one. See ya.